Alright, welcome back to Fanboy Explosion. This is part 3 of our Destiny discussion, and this one is a little bit more about the future. You know, what's next for Destiny, what we think Destiny might need, and how it's going to get there. So the first question that I really have is, there are changes to be made. If they choose to make them, what is the platform for that? Is it going to be an expansion? Is it going to be DLC that incorporates the new ideas that we're looking for, but the old stuff is kind of left to, okay, we'll just kind of ignore that and move in with this stuff.
Like Vanilla WoW?
Yeah, it's like
kind of leave it and it,
or is it an expansion that comes out that's like, we're fundamentally changing a lot of the systems of the game, we're adding a brand new story that, you know, either goes on top of the current one or replaces the current one? Or is this something that they need to just scrap this 10-year plan and they need to maybe in a year or two release Destiny 2
well,
and
see,
address
that's what I think makes this a hard question, but also an interesting one, is they've always talked about, from the initial announcement, that this is going to be a game people are playing for 10 years. For 10 years. This is a 10-year game. They're going to keep having expansions. It's going to keep growing. It's going to keep evolving. And they've continued to reiterate this idea. But what about Destiny 2? Like, I mean, if they're going to keep the same game and they're just going to release $20 expansions every 5 or 6 months, you know, obviously, yeah, in 5 years,
there will be a ton
Destiny
of stuff.
There's going to be a ton of stuff, and Destiny's probably going to be way different. But I just don't know. I just can't. To me, at this point, it's hard to fathom that 10-year plan they were talking about is going to come to fruition. And I feel like they'll get down the line maybe a couple years, and then I think Destiny 2 is inevitable. Now, would I love to... I mean, Destiny 2 might be inevitable anyways, but I think it'll be before that 10-year whatever, 10-year plan, surely. Especially if, like, a new console cycle comes out.
Yeah, that's true.
In those 10 years. Like, you can't tell me that... Anyways, but I would love for the expansions to add... I mean, primarily to me, like, I want them to fix the systems in place, like some of the grinding and some of that, and they've been changing that. I want some story. I want a narrative. I want something that is just more than go kill this person. I know in Dark Below they added that NPC character who you kind of deal with her to get all of the Dark Below story missions and raid. Like, you go to her and she is the story, basically. Yeah. She's like this guardian who survived this initial encounter with Crota, who is the dark god that's like living in the moon with the hive. And that's an interesting idea, but I don't think it's still pretty bleh. It's like she is more, I think, of what people are looking for. Still, that idea is not fully fleshed out. Okay. From what I've read, it's still, like, we haven't played it, but from what I've read, it's still more of the same. Like, she's more of an interesting character. She has a backstory and things like this. But the missions are still just go shoot these people. You know, Crota, we're like, oh, Crota, we heard about him in that other mission once. Yeah. He's really bad. Go in the raid and shoot him. Yep. Why is he bad? That's basically the extent of it. So I think I would like to see more of that in the expansions, and I think they will push that forward. But I think, what do you think? Do you think Destiny 2 will come before that 10-year plan they've been talking so much about?
I kind of have do I think they should release Destiny 2 before the 10-year? Hell yeah. I think that Destiny 2 needs to come fast.
But do they need to? Like if they addressed all your concerns, if they changed the loot system, actually added story, each DLC had some interesting story.
Well, that's the point. The fact of the matter is that the current story, and I have a thought as to how story might be fixed, but there needs to be a significant story added to that game, or some kind of plot event. Because that's one thing that I think it needs as far as events that kind of change the world a little bit. But it needs something there that both players who are there now and new players can enjoy. Because the problem is, if I want to go out and buy Destiny, I've never played Destiny before, just got my next gen console, and I've been holding out. I have to go through all these issues that we've had, the lack of story, to get to the point that I really want to. I don't think it's a sin to think of a second campaign or something like that that might be able, like that has like a mode for new folks as well as the current folks. But I don't know if that's something that necessarily works because there's so much in the main story that's kind of set up for that. Like, it sets you up with the world. Like, this is the Vex. This is all this stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like
I think that's staying.
Yeah.
They're not going to do anything
stays,
with that.
I would like to see it changed, but I don't think that's.
They're not going to. I mean, I would.
That just makes me sad. But
they have. I think they're going to forge ahead. It's not going to be them redoing old stuff.
Realistically, what I expect is better add-on content, like the add-on content to build upon itself and become better and better and better. And they'll also do content patches to, like, for core mechanic changes, like loot system changes and stuff. They'll patch that for everyone. You don't have to buy new stuff, hopefully, to get that content. That's what I realistically think would happen.
Now, that's what we kind of thought was going to happen to begin with. When they talked about supporting this game for 10 years, they were talking about, like, free content that you wouldn't necessarily have to buy those expansions for. What that turned out to be, with, like, in the case of the Queen coming to the tower, it was a new set of bounties.
Yeah, that was a total letdown.
Which the bounties were kill Septic's Prime again. Yep. So that was pretty disappointing. And I think it was around. I think it was around that time when we realized. Yeah, this wasn't gonna.
There's not gonna be much here.
This wasn't gonna be what we were hoping it was gonna be.
Remember, like, I'm not super into PvP.
Iron Banner.
So Iron Banner didn't appeal to me, and then
to
it came out, and most people hated it. They revamped it
and
again.
They've revamped it some.
Apparently,
now, but it's still a grind. It's a grind like everything else. It's a grind.
And so for me, I was just like, you know what, Call of Duty Advanced War's coming out, or Advanced Warfare's coming out. I want to play that game. I want $40 off of it. So I went and traded my copy, and don't regret it. I do not regret it. Do I want to play Destiny? Yes, that
like a little bit
fine.
Of you still wants
to
play.
I like that gameplay. But then I stop and I think, I'm like, you know what? I've seen most of that content, and I don't want to go buy the game and then buy one pack of DLC and another one's coming out. Like, I don't want to have to do that to get back. I'll wait until. Well, here's what I hope happens. I hope that next year they have a new major expansion come out.
Well,
like,
yeah, because I want to talk. Yeah, just like to add on that point. They're called expansions, which to us is like, coming from like a Blizzard kind of
that's a new
department. Yeah, like an expansion is like big. Expansion's a big meaty piece, like Diablo 3 expansion.
Not a raid, a
whole new 7-hour act, whole new adventure mode, all these new items, new class, new everything. In Destiny's case, an expansion, which is $20, is, I think,
a raid.
There were a raid. I think it was a strike, two strikes if you're on PS4 maybe, and then like 3 story missions or something like that.
No, I mean
that's not.
Yeah.
To me, that's not an expansion.
That's not an expansion pack. That's.
I think the term is. I think they've termed it to make it sound like more than it is. At the end of the day,
it's tomato. I mean, they're both add-on content, but. You're right. We have this association with expansion pack in the past, but
so to see an actual expansion pack is kind of what you're saying.
I pull up the map and there is a new planet, or there is a new
class, maybe.
Definitely,
new subclasses.
New class, new subclasses across the board, and a new class. I would like to see a new planet. I would like to see more areas on current planets. Those are things that I would like to see. I am willing to pay to get back into this experience. Like, if that pack needs to be $30-$40 for that content,
but it's actual content.
It's chunky content.
It's not the same stuff.
There's a new 4 new story missions, and I realize this is a lot to ask for. But the honest to God truth is that right now, the way they've got this, if 10 years from now we have 35 strike missions, 8 raids, and 20 new story missions. That's cool. It took you 10 years to get there, but you finally made a chunky amount of content. But if it's all the same bullcrap, if it's just refighting the same reskinned enemies, it's not gonna bode well when they try to announce
Well, yeah,
Destiny
like
2.
I mean, like WoW has tons of dungeons, tons. They add like 7 or 8 every expansion, plus multiple raids, like 3 or 4 raids per expansion. I mean, it's not completely fair to compare the two, but with them, they're adapting that kind of formula. They have that formula. They have raids. They have basically what are dungeons. They have these things, but they don't. But there's not enough of them, and there's not enough interesting things about them to keep you there. So yeah, I'm with you. I would like to see an actual expansion pack that added a new planet with the opportunity for some actual narrative.
Yeah.
There, more strikes, but more importantly, interesting the things to do in those strikes.
Yeah, something
some mechanics, something that's different.
So I don't know what you got to do. Please
now
do it.
Now they say this game's gonna be. They have a 10-year plan. Maybe they have some of this stuff mapped out. Maybe maybe expansion 4. They're like, we're gonna add Saturn, or we're gonna add this planet, or we're gonna add a whole new galaxy. They may very well have a rough idea of those kinds of things already, and it's just like we're out of the gate. It's just not very impressive. So be it.
Yeah.
But I mean,
and if they just need to sit on those secrets and wait for them to come to fruition, that's fine. Like in the test of time, they'll probably win because we'll go back to it if the content's good and there's not something better out to play. But what I am afraid of is that they're not going to, and they think that what they have now, because people are playing it,
is like the
formula. They think that what they
they
have now is like, wow, this is working. People are playing it. But here's the sad truth. The sad truth. I bought an Xbox One to play Destiny. I said I don't want to play it on 360. I want an next.
I
want this to be my first.
That was part of me too. Yeah.
This is gonna be it, and it was super hyped. It's supposed to be the next chapter of first-person shooters, and it came out, and I quickly realized I was like, oh my god, like especially after after some of the other games that came out at the end of last year started coming out, I was like, I would actually rather go play. Something else, Sunset Overdrive or whatever.
And that's fine. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, we were in the same boat.
So, as far as that, the game right now, in my view, it's not where it needs to be. It needs to get there. If, it needs more content, it needs some reworked systems. However they need to implement that, that's fine. But my personal belief is that I think that these first 2 DLC packs, expansion packs, were set in stone. They were done. I think they were probably already on the table before Destiny.
I'm sure. I mean, especially the first one, I'm sure had a significant portion of it. So
that's why I think this
out.
year is the year to show me what you plan to do with Destiny. Like, if you come to E3 this year and you come out with a cool expansion, and I don't care. Like I told you, I do marketing. I understand that there's like business bullcrap involved in all this. If you need to charge people $40 to get it, whatever, people will probably.
But if it's good,
people will buy it, and I will buy it. Now, I would say this: if you do something like that, give me a way to get back into this
without having to,
because
work our butts off.
Don't make me go out and spend $115 to get caught up on Destiny. Like, if you do year 1 of content, you maybe add 1 or 2 more little DLC packs or whatever. I don't know, but. Update that where it's like, oh, if you buy Destiny in this,
well, that's true, yeah.
This edition, you get the first 3 content packs included with the $60 price, and then you can start buying. I don't know if that's something they can do.
I mean, because if you think about it,
just do it digitally. I'll buy the game digitally.
If we don't buy, we skip expansion 1, 2, 3, and we jump in on expansion 4 when they unlock a new planet or something like that. Can we jump straight to those story missions and
I think the easiest way to
be able to level up and get to that high end content without having to raid the old raids and stuff that?
I think that when new content comes out, let's say the light level theoretically gets increased to 40 or whatever, I feel like it's just like a WoW expansion. When a new expansion comes out,
the story mission, you'll get
you do
much
5
better
quests
gear.
and you've already outgeared your old character, and so that's okay. Catch up, I'm not concerned about.
Yeah, okay.
What I would say, the logical business sense here, if you're going to announce a huge expansion to come out later this year, like 2 weeks maybe before the expansion comes out, or after it comes out, I don't know, get with your partners and put everything on sale. Like, put everything up, like the core Destiny game, the DLC, put it on sale for half off. Let me get back in for $60, and then I'll give you however much money you want for this
or maybe like a Destiny Year 1 edition or something like you were kind of saying, where it has all the content for that that came out the past year or something.
But that implies a new retail launch and new SKUs and all that. But like just doing a sale that's like, this is the Destiny catch-up sale. Come on back. Like send me the email that you send me every week that says, this is what's new this week. We've added more bounties. Like, I don't care anymore. But send me, like, let me know, like, hey, Seth, we know we got a lot of new content, but here's how you can get caught up or whatever. But regardless, if they choose to do that, that's up to them. But that we've talked about the things that need to change. Yeah. I would like to see Destiny 2 and then just like wipe the slate clean and let's move from here, but I don't think that's realistically going to happen.
I think it'll happen sometime.
Your best case,
I just don't know when.
Yeah, the best case scenario for 2015, 2016, give us some content, something we can really sink our teeth into.
Content, yeah.
And then just a personal request, give us folks who like, because I'm sure I'm not the only person who's drifted away from this.
No, it's not. Yeah, I mean,
I'm sure people are trading this in.
I think the theme of this particular part of the discussion is we like Destiny to a point, and we want a reason to come back.
Yes,
we're desperately looking for a reason to come back, and we're a little skeptical, more skeptical, I think, than maybe some people. And just so far, we haven't seen anything that is willing to pull us back. But like, part of us in our hearts, we want to come back, and we're just like, we can't
make an event of it. Like, announce some new expansion. Just like WoW does 2 weeks before the expansion comes out, do an event. Like, I know that this...
Like a pre-expansion event.
There was this conspiracy theory going around about how it might actually be that the Guardian is not actually a good guy. Like, is actually a bad guy.
Or do you mean the Traveler? Like the Orb or whatever?
Yeah, the Traveler is actually a bad guy. And for the whole time, you've been perceived as like... this, and there's this conspiracy theory. You can look that up if you want to read that conspiracy theory. But I was just sitting there thinking, all
kind of fan theories on the story out there. Partly because the story's not there, so fans made one for it.
People are just grasping for something. But I was sitting there and I was thinking, I was like, man, you want to talk about a way you could 360 or 180 this and get us back, get me back in the game? Tell me I've been the bad guy all along, and now I've got to literally work to undo the things that I did in the past. But give me a convincing.
It's a whole new starting point.
It's a whole
maybe not something exactly like that, but just give you like a fresh start almost.
Yeah, I mean, if it's, we just killed Crota, so that's the god of
the Hive or something,
Hive,
or one of them, or who knows? I don't know.
So what's next? This is a weird example, but in the old Star Wars fan fiction books at this point of the New Jedi Order, like you would expect, if I'm going to make another Star Wars like book series to talk about what happens after, it's going to be like the Sith are coming back and they're going. No, dude, it was like the Borg came, the Yuzan Vong, like they came from outer space and they just dunked everyone.
Different.
And then all of a sudden you had this whole new enemy in here, but there's still the dynamic of the world, like Jedis and Sith are fighting each other and all this jazz, like dark side.
So there's a big new element to it.
Yeah, and so like, what if you brought in like some new race,
new threat?
That is not just a threat to humanity, but a threat to the galaxy. And so now, I'm not saying like team up with the Hive or anything, but like now I'd
be pretty down with teaming up with the Fallen. I mean, those guys are badass.
Yeah, I mean,
forearms, they're badass.
Like at that point, you're starting to create a world, and it's like, okay, we used to hate each other. Now we
tolerate each other.
We have to tolerate each other, otherwise we're gonna be extinct. Like. I mean, just one after the other. I'm giving you these cards. Like, these are story cards. Like, you do with them what you want to, narratively. But,
I think what we're saying is it's very easy to come up with something compelling.
Yeah, it's not
because there's literally nothing there right now.
I remember, and I wish I could remember these specifically. But
we made up.
We made way better stories.
While we were playing missions, we
badly I could remember.
We just made up. I think stuff that was way better than what was there, mostly because there was nothing there.
There was nothing. People,
it was very easy to do that.
Grasping for that, and there's nothing there. But man, it's fun to think about it. So,
but I mean, maybe we will return to Destiny.
We'll see
sometime soon. Maybe
the power is yours, Bungie.
Maybe later this year we will come back. Maybe we'll have another discussion.
We'll see.
We'll be
at E3.
Yeah, we'll be playing. We'll have been playing Destiny, and we'll come back. And we'll say, you know what, Destiny? You know what, Bungie? You did good.
Yep.
You did good. You did do some of the things.
Pick up the phone. Give Blizzard a call.
Yeah, ask them how they do it. Maybe give them some
Yeah,
get some advice from
Not
them.
only did you fix your game, you rolled it out on a completely different platform, and people loved it from that. Like you don't have to physically call them, but look to them,
call them.
For an example.
No, call them.
Sometimes it's better just to not admit that you're wrong, but acknowledge that what we envisioned for you was not what actually needed to be done. Like that's.
And I mean, I think they're doing some of that.
I think they're doing that, and I feel optimistic about it, and I really hope to see. Like this year is I'm open to coming back this year.
Yeah, I'll say I'm sure there are one or two or maybe even more expansions we don't know about that are probably going to be coming out this year for that game. I'm really interested to see what they are, and if they impress us, we'll definitely be back.
Yep.
You will go to GameStop and you will rebuy your copy of Destiny.
I'll rebuy it, or if you put it on sale on the Xbox store, like I'll rebuy it there, and then I don't have an option to return it.
That's true. It's stuck forever.
So it's like I'm stuck forever. But if you core game $30, each expansion $10, I'll buy back in.
Yep.
All right. So thanks for joining us on this 3-part series. Yep. But if you have any questions or feedback, comments, anything like that, make sure to send us. You can tweet us at Fanboy Explosion. You can also send us a email at fanboyexplosion@gmail.com. If you want to follow me personally, I am at Darth Turner.
And you can follow me at COKGamer. Actually, we'll probably link to some of that stuff in the description.
Last episode he talked about his Destiny review. I'll include a link to that as well. And then if you want to catch all of the new Fanboy Explosion stuff as soon as it's available, make sure to go to fanboyexplosion.com. You can check in there, or you can also subscribe on iTunes.
If you're an audio person,
if you're an
just
audio
like
person,
audio.
We're trying the video thing here, so give us some feedback. We want to hear, is the video working for you? But other than that, I think that just about wraps up everything. Thanks for joining us. It's been great, and we'll see you next time.